What's going on, guys? Thank you for checking back in with me. Today we are picking up right where we left off in the last video. No fooling around, no joking around. If you guys remember, I sanded down the roof a little bit. I cleaned it up. I decided that I was going to take a step back and fix this flexy, weak, nonsense sheet metal. I've cut out some of the sections of this tailgate that I used for the floor pans. I'm going to use a little bit of that metal to tack it in place to see if I can stiffen that area up. I don't really have much else for you guys. We're going to get this Lexan installed and get this fender done, so stop talking, let's get to it. I've said that in the past 3 videos, stop talking, let's get to it, Travis, or let's get to work, Travis, stop rambling. That's really annoying. Alright, seriously. So I've put in some work. I decided not to film because the last video I filmed everything and it really drug it out, so I want to show you guys now. Here's the top part where I've laid down some body filler and sanded it down, cleaned everything up after the welds. There is all of the stitch welding and that brace support that's in there. Once the Bondo dries, I'll show you guys better, kind of give you like a little shakedown so you know that it's in there pretty well. Show you guys this side really quick. It's all stitched up there. It'll do the job. Now I just gotta wait for this to dry and I'll sand it down. Same thing with the fender. I decided to lay a bit of Bondo over that spot that I missed in the last video that I showed you guys. Once this dries up, I'm gonna sand it down, prime it, probably prime this, and then I'll check back in with you guys, show you what the game plan is from there. We are trucking right along. I got that body filler sanded down, and I just laid a coat of primer on the roof now, letting that dry, and then I'll lay some black on that top end. Same thing with this fender. Laid a coat on there. You guys can see it came out really well. It's got that little bit of a lip right there that I couldn't get. It's just in the metal and there's nothing I can really do about it. I think it was in the last video and I said something about it. And then here's the Lexan. I'm going to have to tape off this center part and then paint around this edge because I want like a black ring around the top of it, so that way it has this nice clean look up there. So I'm going to get ready to do that, and once that dries up, we will figure out how to set this thing on here and get it to stay. That way I can drill and then rivet it on. So close. We've got her taped off just how I want it. All the measurements are all even. I'm gonna go ahead and lay some color on her and then let her dry. Same thing with up top. Gotta lay some black up here and then we'll get to installing it. Alrighty, we got the Lexan sprayed. Let her dry off. Well, frustratingly enough, guys, I ended up cracking the Lexan roof we got going on here, and I also ran out of rivets. So I guess with it bowing the way it is, you can see that my sealant's in there. I put some clear silicone in here, and you can see that it cracked right here, it cracked right here, cracked there, and there's one in the middle. So I'm really butthurt. It was going so well, it looks so clean, and it just has this weird flex on it. No matter what I do, I tried working my way from the middle out. You guys can see I have the one in here. There's a huge crack. I'm really frustrated and really butthurt with this. I don't know why it decided to crack. I guess maybe either I put the rivets in too close to each other or it has too much flex in it. I think I might have to get a little bit thicker of a piece next time around. I'm gonna go ahead and roll with it. I have to get some more rivets to finish putting down the side to even see what it looks like this area right here and right here. So I'm gonna go get those rivets tomorrow morning, pop them in and just see what it does, and then run this for the time being. You can see some of my silicone, see, it was just smudged out over here and it was laid down in the middle. So I'm really mad. I can see why this guy messed up the roof so badly, because it might have done the similar thing. And on top of that, he didn't really space out his rivets. He kind of just threw them wherever, and where I did 2 inches in between each rivet, I don't know if it's too much. I don't know. I'm really mad though. I've got everything cleaned up for the most part. I'm gonna go ahead and try to wrap this fender. I think I might try to do it before the sun goes down. It is a little cool, but I think it might stick just because there's fresh paint. Everything has been cleaned off this fender. It's all good and golden. Oh man, I'm just really butthurt about this. Really butthurt. Alrighty. I went ahead and worked ahead on this passenger side. As you guys can see, this fender is now done. It came out so close. It's just that little indent where it rolled over on itself. I couldn't fix it. There's nothing I could really do about it, but it is now done. Everything is all wrapped. The entire car, well, at least this bottom half is. The hood isn't. I don't know if I'm going to leave the hood and the roof black, and the bumper. I kind of like it. At the same time, I would like for it to be all red, but just wanted to show you guys just about everything is done. I'm gonna have to come out here tomorrow and clean up all of my mess, all of this nonsense that I've made out here, and then I guess we'll move on to the next thing, which is trying to fix this again. Oh man, I'm a little frustrated. Actually, I'm a lot frustrated. I'm really mad because I spent all day working on that and it just did not work out how I wanted to. But it's 6:30, guys. It's time for me to go eat some dinner, relax, hang out for a little bit. So I will see you guys again tomorrow. No luck today, guys. I went out this morning, got some more rivets, came home, finished up installing the sunroof, and it cracked even worse. I'll definitely be redoing this again. I guess you can consider this a fail in the books. I'm not happy at all. I don't think I've said that enough in the past 2 clips, but I'm really pissed off because that's like $40 down the drain and another 10, 12 bucks on rivets. You know, that's 50 bucks right there that I could have used to buy a thicker piece of Lexan and maybe some more rivets. I don't know. Anyways, I got my garage cleaned up. Everything's all straightened up. Cleaned up. Looking good. Back to its normal state. And I will show you guys. Oh, let me answer the phone and then I'll show you guys. Sorry about that. Got a phone call. I guess I'll show you guys what the roof looks like and the crack. I actually covered the crack up because it was so bad with some duct tape. So now it looks even more ghetto than what the sheet metal roof looked like. I don't know. Maybe it looks somewhat decent. A lot of people gave me some good feedback on Instagram. They said it doesn't look that bad. It could have been a lot worse, and it was worse. But I'm gonna replace it. I'm gonna fix it. That is obviously not up to my standards, and it looks just about as janky as the sheet metal roof did. But I can't get too butthurt. I mean, okay, yeah, I'm gonna be butthurt. I'm not gonna let it stop me from doing the stuff to the car. I have to fix my headlights, put that cluster in. So we still have a ton of stuff to do. I'm just, it just like kills my motivation and drives me up the wall. But let's pull these headlights off and get them cleaned up, fixed up, repainted, and then we'll keep on trucking, guys. Alright guys, so I've been in this really salty mood because of this freaking sunroof. It just kind of put me in a funk, and I haven't lost my motivation. It just pisses me off so much, and now I've got a headache. I want to show you guys what I was messing with. Sadly, the tachometer on the cluster that's in there isn't working. If you guys didn't realize that the cluster's back there. I got it all wired up in there, plugged all the connections in, and the temperature gauge is working on the far side. And so is the door ajar lights, but nothing else is working. I don't know what the heck is going on with that. This auxiliary tachometer worked just fine when it was wired into the main harness, and I wired everything back up into the main harness and still got nothing. But I know the harness is getting power because, you know, lights are illuminating, and if I switch the plugs around, the fuel gauge will work, and then if I switch the plug back over, the door ajar and the temperature gauge works. So I'm not quite sure what is going on with that, but it just really annoys me that, of course, after all of this work, things aren't going the way that I had planned on. I bondoed and cleaned up the front of this fender, or I mean the hood. See, I can't even get things right. And you can see a little nick there, whatever I did wrong. Oh man, I've just been, gosh. Just aggravates me, man. One thing after another. It was going so good. We were doing so well. Right now I'm working on the headlights. I haven't checked in and showed you guys anything or what I've been doing because, like I said, I've just been in this funk. And I welded the headlights, these caps on. I plugged the holes, laid some body filler on there, cleaned everything up, and now I'm laying some primer on and getting ready to paint. So that way it'll look somewhat decent in the front of the car. Other than that, guys, that is about it for right now. I'm not quite sure what's going to go on. I want to get that cluster to work. I'm going to do some more research tonight I'm going to finish painting these guys up. I'm not going to film any of this stuff because you guys have already seen it. We've done a ton of body work, sanding, wrapping, painting, you know. You guys have seen a lot of this, so I'll just check in with you either later this afternoon or tomorrow because it's already 5 o'clock and I'm just losing my motivation, guys. We are going on day 3 of all of this content that I've been filming for you guys. I'm going to kind of wrap it up and make this short and sweet. I've already gone ahead and done some things to the car. You guys want to take a look here? The cluster is installed. I have one piece to the puzzle. Like I said, I'm going to get a new dashboard, so I went ahead and mounted these guys up here. I could care less. The tachometer is sadly not working. Let me show you. So let me fire up the car. First, let me put the battery switch into the on position. So you'll see that tachometer work, but the lower one doesn't. Yep. Luckily this temperature gauge works. It'll match this guy here. That's my oil pressure. I'm just going to have those hanging out for right now until I get a new dashboard. We figured out that the cluster issue may be because I got a single cam cluster when I have a dual overhead cam motor. Because the harness is wired for a single cam cluster, we don't know if it's plug and play. Somebody on the forum said it was. My buddy thinks it is, and the guy with that SR20 coupe that was over here with that light bar that goes in the front. Daniel, I don't know if you guys remember seeing his car, but he also has a, you know, obviously an SR20, but he has a dual overhead cam cluster in his car to match his motor, and he thinks that it was a single overhead cam at one point in time. So that is going to obviously wrap up the issue for that cluster. I want to get all the switches and stuff, like I said, I want to get a new dashboard so I can have all of the switches right here. There's like the light dimming switch, the headlight button to pop the headlights up and down. I'd like to put the vents back in just to kind of have it look factory from this point forward. I'm obviously going to pull everything out of the floorboards, dry ice it whenever I get the chance to, and then start going over everything, painting it. But I need to get seat time. I need to quit spending money on my car and fixing it up, and I just need to go get this firewall done, get the cell all good to go, get this harness done, and go down there and drift, because I keep spending money on my car fixing things up, and I just want to drift. I really want to learn to drift. So that's about all I have for you guys in this video. I don't think I'm going to film much else today or anything else for this video. I guess it kind of turned out to be a fail. I think I said that earlier. Maybe I'll just show you the car really quickly. Hold on, let me put everything back together.